Yo, what's going on, guys? Bot Mentality here with a trade review for you, and this was on the SPX today, and today is October 26th of 2018. The market's been closed for a few hours now, and as I go through and document in my trade journal and just review my trades, I thought I'd go ahead and just film this recap video for you guys here real quick. So just to go back here and recap the past couple days here, we've seen consistent lower highs. I'm looking at the SPY right now, but the SPX looks very similar. It just doesn't show you the pre-market and after hours action. So we saw pretty much lower highs here heading into today. We saw a very nice recovery yesterday after the sell-off to the close. Pretty heavy pre-market action, and then we ran up from like the 266 area all the way to the 272 area, dumped into the close as we had Amazon reporting earnings, Google reporting earnings, and a couple other big companies as well, and those earnings weren't as good as were expected. So we saw heavy selling here pre-market, or after hours, and then opened up into pre-market. We saw some more selling. Just don't mind that wick there in the open. It was just some crazy order that went through, but it stabilized very quickly. And then we saw a sell-off there. It's going to continuation to break the previous lows here and the pre-market lows down to the 2629. All right, yeah, the 262. So essentially, what going in here today, I knew that there was a heavy pre-market. I knew there was bad earnings there. And if Amazon's down, if Google's down, chances are Microsoft and Apple are also going to be down. Which, if we check their charts, you'll see that was the case. If I jump over here, check out Amazon. Look, huge gap down yesterday on that bad earnings. Heavy pre-market, pretty heavy action. If we look at Google, same thing. Google actually hung over VWAP for a while, but definitely had had a gap down there after hours. If we look at Microsoft, same thing, gap down, hung up. These did a little bit better than the SPY, but because the gap down, I knew we'd be heavy there in the morning. So what I was looking for initially on the SPY, well, I'll go to the SPX so you can see something a little bit more accurate. What I was looking for, since we saw that huge gap down at the open, I was hoping to see a larger move towards the 2700 or at least the 2680. Either one of those is what I was looking for. If we went parabolic and we were able to touch the 2680, I had a feeling we would reject that level. If we go to the 5-day chart and you look at the 2680 level here, you'll see that this is the main whole and half number right before that 2700. If you look on the SPY, pull this up here for you. That's going to correlate with about the 268, and if you look pre-market, which the SPX doesn't display pre-market, but if you look at pre-market, the 268 is a good reference point right before that 270 area, that 2700 on the SPX. We bounced off it twice here pre-market, pulled back, saw resistance on it right here when we curled back down as we're focusing on this 268 level, which you can't see this on the SPX, which is why I'm on the SPY, but we had that same sort of resistance in that 268, which is why I wanted to see us move up the 268. So I'll jump back over to the SPX. And so that was my focus area to open up a call spread, which is essentially like going short the market. And we out of the gate, we're pretty weak. We went from the 2655 up to a high here of 2671, not nearly as close to the 268 like I wanted, the 2680, and then we sold off. So I didn't take a position on that. I didn't want to trade a put spread because I didn't know how far we were going to break down on that immediate weakness. So I was just remaining patient throughout the entire day. So eventually here at about 11 o'clock on the dot, I always keep an eye on 10:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. for potential reversals. So here at 11 a.m. we saw where the trend change, and we saw consistent higher lows and higher lows and higher highs all the way up here, all the way up until about 1 o'clock, right? So very strong up trade. Essentially what I was waiting for, guys. I wasn't trying to pick the top here. We've been down. If you go to the 10-day, look how heavy we've been down pretty much every single day. So I wasn't looking to call the bottom on this move. I was going to let it go as high as it wanted to and just extend throughout as far as it could through the day. And I was looking to open up a trade there for a same day expiration for my option trade. So I opened it today and it would expire Friday, which is today. And I was just waiting to see a trend break. So what I waited for was this higher low, higher high pattern to break. And we saw that right here, and we pulled back, bounced, lower high, and then we flushed towards the lower of the day, and then we kind of chopped up into the close. Something very interesting I want to point out here once we saw this trend break. If we jump over here to the SPY, another reason why I watch the SPY is the SPX, for some reason, it doesn't, VWAP, volume weighted average price, doesn't work with it. But you'll see we reclaim VWAP here. We saw the trend break, a pull back to VWAP, a bounce, and a pullback to touch it, and then a flush down below it, right? So this was a good sort of average point. We're returning to the mean, a reversion to the average is essentially what this was like. So when I saw this huge trend break here on the bounce is when I opened up my call spread. So the call spread that I opened was a 27.25 by the 27.35. The expiration date was the 26th, which is today. And the price at the open was about 267.50, and of course we closed below that at 265.33. Now the 27.25, I gave myself plenty of room to be wrong about this trend break being the that being the top of the day. Okay, because if we jump back over here to the SPX, and I'll show you guys here on the SPX, to get to the 27.25, we would have had to break the previous day's high. Okay, so we would have had to continue this up after a pullback here, continue this uptrend and break the previous day's high with only what 2 hours and 20 minutes remaining in the market. So that's a highly unlikely scenario, and that's why I opened that call spread, because I knew we had a limited time frame, we had a lot of distance to cover, and after this trend broke, the premiums also decreased, so I got in on the bounce when the premiums turned back up, shorted essentially right here, which means I sold a call spread, right? I didn't actually short the SPX, but I opened up a call spread, a bear call spread, which means I think the market's going to go down. And then we saw a pullback, a bounce, lower high, and then once we flushed VWAP there on the SPY, there's no turning back there. So same day expiration was a 2-hour trade, and collected 2.03% in 2 hours, guys. And I avoided a lot of the stress of the people that were hammering in short right here. I was waiting the price to come to me, and if you'll notice, we broke that 2680 level, that 268 I was focused on, found support on it, pulled back, bounced above VWAP, and where did we touch? Where did I enter? Right there on the 2680, which I knew would be resistance, because if we jump back here on the SPY, you'll see over here we saw this curl down in pre-market where that marked a period of resistance and 2 bounces on it right here on the 268. So that was my focus on the SPX. I had room to be wrong, plenty of room to be wrong, because if we would have kept running, it would have had to close over the 26.25 for me to take a loss on that spread. And it did not. We ended up flushing the rest of the day. So a really quick trade. I just want to demonstrate for you guys. You don't have to open your position right at the beginning of the day. You can be patient, let the chart develop a little bit, and use the data that you've collected so far to make an educated guess of high probability of success to bring in some profits there toward the end of the day. So that is my trade I made on the SPX today. It's my only trade. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. If you have any questions on anything I just said, leave a comment below. You can shoot me an email. You can reach out to me on Twitter, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I detailed this plan in yesterday's newsletter. I have a newsletter service where I'll just send out my charts and my thoughts on the market for the following day. I send that every day, and I will chart out the SPY and also other cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin as well, and look at the Bitfinex long and short chart with that. And then I also have a chat room, a live Discord chat room, where I'll discuss my entries and exits. So I'll kind of talk you guys through why I'm looking to take the trade, and I'll let you know when I place it. You can sit and watch and see how it goes, or if you want to take a similar trade, you could use that as a kind of guide, so you know exactly where I'm at, where I'm thinking, if you're not as much of an experienced trader. Of course, trading is always at your own risk, guys, and I just want to give some tips that might be able to help you guys in your trading. So that is all I got, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. If you have any questions, again, reach out to me. My name is Bot Mentality. Continue to stay focused on developing that bot mentality, which is the trading mentality, which is learning to eliminate emotions and trade like a machine, guys. Deuces.